Astute Quotations, Part 4. Worry is the stomach's worst poison. Alfred Nobel. The main cause of worry is confusion. Dale Carnegie. Your mind gets stuck when you're trying to do too many things at once. Robert Pirsig, author of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Definition of worry: carrying tomorrow's load on today's truck. From Eunice Ingham, American pioneer in the field of foot reflexology. This one thing I do. Philippians 3:13. He who builds a church to God and not to fame will never mark the marble with his name. Alexander Pope. Every selfish man, strangely enough, becomes a self-slayer. Sadhu Sundar Singh, 1889-1929. Correct form is the forerunner to good performance and the early cure of fear. Former baseball executive Branch Rickey. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. Self-help writer W. Clement Stone. 80% of all choices are based on fear. Dr. Phil McGraw. In order to train the tiger, one must remain close to it. Chinese proverb. People who are shocked easily need to be shocked more often. Mae West. If we're going to win the pennant, we've got to start thinking we're not as good as we think we are. Casey Stengel, former Yankee manager. Champions don't smoke pipes. Pipes make you contented, and champions aren't contented. Joe McCarthy, former Yankee manager. Show me a contented newspaper editor, and I'll show you a bad newspaper. Arthur Christensen, former editor of London's Daily Express. Fat hens lay few eggs. German proverb. You can't win with 3-car garage guys. With 2-car garage guys, you got a chance. Pete Carroll, basketball coach, Princeton University. I went to a fight the other night and a hockey game broke out. Rodney Dangerfield. Don't be nervous, but don't make any mistakes. Fred Astaire to dance partner Barry Chase. If you regularly lose, you are not the unluckiest player at the table. It is your partner. Edward Meyer, Bridgemaster. His force is in the navel of his belly. From the book of Job, 40:16. Problems must be resolved at the level beneath the one at which they occur. John Whitmore, British racer and performance coach. Players who stand flat-footed and swing with their arms are golfers, not hitters. Rogers Hornsby, Baseball Hall of Famer. I never had technique. Al Order, 4-time gold medalist in the discus. As far as swing and techniques are concerned, I don't know diddly squat. When I'm playing well, I don't even take aim. Fred Couples, member of the World Golf Hall of Fame. Technique without rationale equals no retention. Educational dictum. Keeping the head still is golf's one universal, unarguable fundamental. Jack Nicklaus. In order to see birds, it is necessary to become part of the silence. One has to sit still like a mystic and wait. One soon learns that fussing, instead of achieving things, merely prevents things from happening. Sociologist Robert Stoughton Lind of Columbia on birdwatching as a hobby. The better I shoot, the less I have to maneuver. Eddie Rickenbacker, fighter pilot, auto racer, airline executive. In football, as in watchmaking, talent and elegance mean nothing without rigor and precision. Lionel Messi, Barcelona forward. In football, everything is complicated by the presence of the opposite team. Jean-Paul Sartre. It is impossible to outplay an opponent you can't outthink. Pro golfer Lawson Little. All tailors are cheats, and all men are tailors. Charles Lamb, 1773-1834. Hold when you're at home, and don't when you're on the road. John McKay, football coach, University of Southern California. Some of us think holding on makes us strong, but sometimes it is letting go that makes us strong. Hermann Hesse. By her gait the goddess was known. Virgil, from the Aeneid. We settle for so little. As long as we can get by, we let it go at that. Movement educator Moshe Feldenkrais. Overtraining is, to my way of thinking, the biggest medical problem incurred by talented runners who lack the experience or discipline to cope with their own enthusiasm. Marty LaCouri, Olympic track performer and television commentator. The time is out of joint. From Hamlet. Know the right moment. Pittacus of Mytilene, from the 6th century BC. Take your time in deciding, but when your mind is made up, act swiftly. Isocrates, from the 4th century BC. Tempus fugitus et non commibacibus. Heard in the seminary. A shot that goes in the cup is pure luck, but a shot to within 2 feet of the flag is skill. Ben Hogan, World Golf Hall of Fame. It is skill, not strength, that governs a ship. Thomas Fuller, English churchman and historian, 1608-1661. Just be patient. Let the game come to you. Don't rush. Be quick, but don't hurry. Earl the Pearl Monroe of the New York Knicks in basketball. One man, by delaying, saved the state for us. Quintus Ennius, 2nd century BC, regarding Fabius Maximus. Don't play the saxophone. Let it play you. Charlie Parker. Ballard did not discover bromine, but rather bromine discovered Ballard. German chemist Justus von Liebig regarding the French chemist Antoine Ballard. The trick is, in taking a sucker, to get him to suggest a bet. Marty Reisman from his book The Money Player, 1974. The finest trick of the devil is to persuade you that he does not exist. Charles Baudelaire. The devil is easy to identify. He appears when you're terribly tired and makes a very reasonable request, which you know you should not grant. Fiorello LaGuardia, former mayor of New York City. The world is full of obvious things which nobody by any chance ever observes. Arthur Conan Doyle, from The Hound of the Baskervilles. All obvious moves look dubious in analysis after the game. Viktor Korchnoi, Russian chess grandmaster. Chess is the gymnasium of the mind. Lenin. Scratch marathoners once. They tell you how wonderful they feel. Scratch them twice, and they tell you about their latest injuries. Arnold Cooper, professor of psychiatry, Cornell University, speaking in 1981. The spinal cord is the keyboard on which the brain plays. Dr. Irwin Kaur, osteopath. We have in the spinal cord the prototype and the foundation for the entire structure of the brain. Anatomist Friedrich Arnold. The whole duty of a conductor is comprised in his ability to indicate the right tempo. Richard Wagner. A good base stealer should make the whole infield jumpy. Whether you steal or not, you are changing the rhythm of the game. If the pitcher is concerned about you, he isn't concentrating enough on the batter. Joe Morgan, 10-time baseball all-star and television commentator. Rhythm and timing are the two things which we all must have, yet no one knows how to teach either. Bobby Jones, World Golf Hall of Fame. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Ian Dury. Nearest the king, nearest the gallows. Danish proverb. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. Confucius. Do not plan for ventures before finishing what's at hand. Euripides. A man once brought his torn trousers to a tailor in Athens. The tailor asked, "Euripides?" To which the man replied, "Yes, Eumenides." Never start on the next until you have mastered the previous. Nobel Prize winner Ivan Pavlov. True eloquence consists of saying all that should be said, and that only. La Rochefoucauld, 1613 to 1680. A good pro referee will know when the player or coach has had his say and will know when to walk away. An average one won't. Sid Borgia, former NBA referee. An angry player can't argue with the back of an umpire who is walking away. Umpire Bill Clem. Umpires are most vigorous when defending their missed calls. Baseball pitcher and author Jim Brosnan. Always work the ref's blind side. Fritzy Zivik, American boxer, 1913, 1984. Men of genius are admired. Men of wealth are envied. Men of power are feared. But only men of character are trusted. Psychotherapist Alfred Adler. If you don't live it, it won't come out of your horn. Charlie Parker. Leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character, but if you must be without one, be without the strategy. General Norman Schwarzkopf. Character is higher than intellect. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Talent is commonly developed at the expense of character, and the greater it grows, the more is the mischief. Emerson. Give the lady what she wants. Department store magnate Marshall Field. What is pain or discomfort to a relatively inexperienced runner is merely information to the elite. Marty LaCourie. Pain, will you return it? I won't say it again. Depeche Mode from Strangelove. The grand thing is to be able to reason backwards. Arthur Conan Doyle. The defense tells you when to throw, where to throw, and how to throw. Quarterback Sonny Jurgensen, NFL Hall of Fame. You translate everything, whether physical, mental, or spiritual, into muscular tension. Movement educator F.M. Alexander of Australia. To get along with me, don't increase my tension. Ty Cobb, baseball icon of a bygone era. Cobb is a prick. Babe Ruth. Beauty is rather a light that plays over the symmetry of things rather than symmetry itself. Plotinus. A man whose authority is recent is always stern. Aeschylus. The beginning is half the whole. Plato. The beginning and the end shake hands with each other. German proverb. Moderate skill in billiards implies a certain amount of mental capacity, but such skill as you have displayed is clear evidence of a misspent youth. Herbert Spencer. A boaster and a liar are first cousins. German proverb. I always have a picture in my mind when I am composing, and I follow its outlines. Beethoven. A boaster and a liar are first cousins. German proverb. Of a compliment, only a third is meant. Welsh proverb. When a man's house is on fire, it's time to break off chess. Thomas Fuller from his Nomologia, 1732. The function of music is to release us from the tyranny of conscious thought. Sir Thomas Beecham, 1879-1961. Nothing resembles pride so much as discouragement. H.F. Amiel, 1850. No great discovery is ever made without a bold guess. Isaac Newton. A world of fact lies outside and beyond the world of words. T.H. Huxley, English biologist. A scalded dog fears even cold water. Randall Cotgrave from his French-English dictionary, 1611. The little snake studies the ways of the big serpent. Japanese proverb. Buildings are measured by their shadows, and great men by their calumniators. Chinese proverb. Calumniator, one who slanders against you. Great men are distinguished by range and extent rather than by originality. Emerson. The older dramatists found their fun in obscenity. The moderns employ innuendo, which made a great advance in decorum. Aristotle. A moment's insight is sometimes worth a life's experience. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Hasty questions require slow actions. Dutch proverb. The fewer the words, the less litigation. Gracian, 1601 to 1658. Self-esteem equals success divided by pretensions. William James, considered the dean of American psychology. Thought is only a flash between two long nights, but this flash is everything. Henri Poincaré, mathematician. No man can be a specialist, or should I say a pure specialist, without being, in the strict sense, an idiot. George Bernard Shaw. What a superior man seeks is within him. What the common man seeks is in others. Confucius. Never trust a tailor who does not sing while he works. Beaumont and Fletcher, dramatists from the 17th century, from their Night of the Burning Pestle. Whatever is useful is common and ugly. The most useful part of a house is the bathroom. Théophile Gautier, 1811 to 1872. The man who makes the wrong first move always loses the game. Japanese proverb. The less a man thinks or knows about his virtues, the better we like him. Emerson. When ideas fail, words come in very handy. Goethe. An expert is a man who has made all the mistakes which can be made in a very narrow field. Niels Bohr, Nobel Prize winner. There is nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. Peter Drucker. I know it was wonderful, but I don't know how I did it. Laurence Olivier, after a particularly brilliant performance of Othello. The young man knows the rules, but the old man knows the exceptions. Oliver Wendell Holmes. There is no excellent beauty that hath not some strangeness in its proportion. Francis Bacon. I've been 40 years discovering that the queen of all colors is black. Auguste Renoir. In Victorian times, the purpose of life was to develop a personality once and for all, and then stand on it. Ashley Montagu, former sociologist at the University of Princeton University, I think. He's a key leader, or he's a key writer in the field of bodywork. The mind fully develops its faculties when it attacks power. Germain Stale, 1766 to 1817. Penetrating so many secrets, we cease to believe in the unknowable. But there it sits, nevertheless, calmly licking its chops. H.L. Mencken. Beauty is the purgation of I'll say that again, I really botched that one. Beauty is the purgation of superfluities. Michelangelo. How do you say that? Superfluities. It's not a common word these days, is it? The time to stop talking is when the other person nods his head affirmatively but says nothing. Henry Haskins, stockbroker, 1875 to 1957. People who are brutally honest get more satisfaction out of the brutality than out of the honesty. Richard Needham. When you resist a difficulty, you antagonize it, and it bites back. Emmett Fox, New Thought Leader, 1886, 1951. Education with inert ideas is not only useless, it is above all things harmful. Alfred North Whitehead. The truth is forced upon us very quickly by a foe. Aristophanes. The suspense is terrible. I hope it will last. Oscar Wilde. Once you say you're going to settle for second, that's what happens. John F. Kennedy. God is a circle whose center is everywhere and circumference nowhere. Voltaire, quoting Timaeus of Locri from the 5th century BC. It is the theory that decides what can be observed. Einstein. The eyes indicate the antiquity of the soul. Emerson. Lives based on having are less free than lives based either on doing or on being. William James. More of me comes out when I improvise. Edward Hopper, American artist. The opposite of a correct statement is a false statement, but the opposite of a profound truth may well be another profound truth. Niels Bohr. The play was a great success, but the audience was a disaster. Oscar Wilde. This completes Astute Quotations Part 4.